What are some really creepy facts you know? There is a black hole called Phoenix A, and it is estimated to be 100 billion times the mass of our Sun, comparable to the mass of an entire galaxy. Its event horizon is 590 billion kilometers wide, or more than 100 times the distance from the Sun to Pluto, or about 1/16 of a light-year wide. To get a visualization of how big that is on a human scale, let's shrink our solar system by 1 trillion times. The Sun would be 1 millimeter wide, and Pluto would be a little more than 5 meters away, and that black hole would be 590 meters wide. For reference, Alpha Centauri would be about 40 kilometers away at that scale. The crew aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia was still alive for several minutes during the fatal and futile re-entry attempt. The first signs of trouble were observed at 8 hours 53 minutes and 46 seconds, more and more started to go wrong, but Mission Control was able to maintain communication through 8 hours 59 minutes and 32 seconds. Sometime after that, the shuttle entered a flat spin while traveling approximately Mach 15, which is enough to cause disorientation and very painful injury, but most likely not unconsciousness or death. Review of recovered data recording shows that Commander Husband and Pilot McCool were still attempting to restore systems and recover control past 9 hours and 5 seconds. The first lethal event was depressurization, which occurred between 9 hours and 35 seconds and 9 hours and 59 seconds. All that means that the crew was very much alive and very much fighting to maintain or regain control for more than 7 minutes, despite knowing that realistically their chances of success were pretty much zero. Edit, meant Columbia. Oopsie poopsie. A guy disappeared in my country. Everyone knew he died. Everyone knew who did it. But the guys were policemen. So the investigation was so ruined it became ridiculous. There are people on this planet who can intervene in the investigations made against them, decide to block them, and if you do something about it, no one will investigate when you will mysteriously vanish. Can't fathom to be so powerful, but yet use this power to be so heartless. When watching Monsters Inside Me, I discovered that individuals can still contract leprosy. While on a hunting excursion, 2 adolescents saw and removed a dead armadillo. The armadillo's blood got on his boots, which he wiped with his bare hands. This proved to be a near-fatal error, as the armadillo became infected with the bacteria that causes leprosy. He had to have surgery to remove damaged sections of his body. Spiders, one of the most evolutionary advanced species on the planet. We kept killing them, they began to get better at hiding. They can also convince us we have killed them when we haven't. Rain doesn't destroy their webs, not even a pressured hose does anymore. Also forgot to mention, they can do nothing, sleep all day and wake up to find food in their webs. They do not need to hunt or attack like almost every animal. Your organs know the order they are supposed to be in, so when surgeons perform their job, they don't typically reorganize them because they arrange themselves correctly. The first known human cannibal was a Neanderthal whose victims' 100,000-year-old bones were discovered in Moulagursi, a cave in France. There have been sites where the act has occurred involving the cannibalism of children, leading some to speculate the act was not just done for food, but that it was done as a warning to rivals. Some anthropologists suggest that cannibalism was common in human societies as early as the Paleolithic. To this day, only a few countries have laws which explicitly criminalize the practice of cannibalism, and the act can still be found in isolated regions of 5 different countries. We don't really know reality. We only know our perception of reality. The sky isn't really blue. The gases in our atmosphere scatter the shorter wavelength frequencies of the visible light spectrum, that is, blue, indigo, and violet. Yet, we only see blue. The rest are still there, we just don't see it. There is a lot we don't see. There is a lot we don't hear. There is a lot we cannot perceive. Just imagine what else is out there, or rather, inside your house with you right now, perhaps dangling off the hairs over your forehead as you read this, that you can't see or hear or feel. When we consume psychoactive, hallucinogenic substances, our perception of reality is distorted. The 5 senses are inadequate for describing the experience because we are able to perceive differently from what languages, and by extension, our own minds, have been developed to describe. There is a great, overarching blackness, a mystery of the universe that you cannot know. We are all just walking around in the dark, unaware of everything. Also, a baculum is a penis bone that is absent in humans, but present in other mammals. The blue whale is the largest animal species alive on Earth. They have baculums. When writing my first urban fantasy book about a conspiracy to commit murder using a vampire to make it look like an accident, I researched how long it would take an unconscious human male to bleed out and die from a punctured jugular vein. I probably got put on a few watch lists over that one. I also know that male mallard ducks are serial rapists. I wish I didn't know that because I used to think they were cute. But probably worst of all, I've read Diantics. Creepy doesn't even begin to describe L. Ron Hubbard and the cult he created. 1. Rogue planets. The black holes. Rogue planets don't have a parental star and start roaming around solar systems around the galaxy that has a sun, and rogue black holes also roam around sucking everything it sees. Worst case scenario, a rogue planet will enter our solar system and cause a collision. 2. We are definitely not going anywhere just by finding a habitable planet. We already messed up ours. Our galaxy is big that it will take years to get across or out of our galaxy to find another one, and no one will care if you keep putting save Earth or save water. Our planet will still be trashed and we all are gonna die. The fact there are rich people paying upwards of $5,000 per treatment to have blood transfusions with young blood. Younger people have greater levels of somatotropin, a growth hormone that plays a massive role in healing. The transfusion supposedly boosts the body's healing process, reducing and slightly reversing the aging process. These companies pay younger, typically students, for these donations. What's really scary? The younger the blood, the more GH, meaning the greater the efficacy. One can only imagine the levels to which this goes on in the illegal trade. Not sure if it's really creepy, but anyone handy with a drill can drill out your locks in about 30 seconds, with little to no noise. Had a lockout during business hours at work, had them in their home in under a minute after arrival. She was both impressed and a little scared, lol. Anyone heard of teratomas? They are tumors that grow in your body that can be made of many different types of cells around your body, including brain cells. They also often grow hair, teeth, and even eyeballs. I'm the case of a cerebral teratoma. Your immune system attempts to destroy the tumor, but once it identifies the brain cells, it determines that brain cells are threats, so your own immune system begins to attack your brain. Look up the Monsters Inside Me episode on Kura. Eccles. Terrifying stuff. I'm not going to go into it because I'm a volunteer firefighter. Spreading this information I'm certain is illegal, but the broad strokes are how easily things can burst into flames and how quickly humans die afterwards, and that the fingernails burn first. But CO2 makes sure you're not awake for any of this, you just die at 15,000 parts per million. Then as far as gases that can kill you, the last is PE gas, which is M** gas, which is F** on fire on, and it takes 2 parts per million to kill. Don't go near burning fridges. Male bats spend the majority of their days giving themselves fellatio. When held in captivity among an all-male bat population, they will pin down smaller bats and take turns raping them. This was observed repeatedly in a large rainforest habitat that I used to work in with an attached bat shelter. Shoes with feet still in them wash up frequently on shores, and not, usually, because of a murder or a disposed body. Natural disasters, sometimes thousands of miles away, floods, tsunamis, typhoons, etc., kill people, won't wash them out to sea, and months later, the shoes with feet in them will make their way across oceans to beaches. In the catacombs of Paris, there are an estimated 6 million human skeletons stored underground. These catacombs were created in the late 18th century to alleviate overcrowding in cemeteries and became a final resting place for the deceased. The underground tunnels stretch for over 200 miles and are lined with bones and skulls, creating a haunting and eerie atmosphere. Venturing into the depths of the catacombs can be an unsettling experience, especially considering the sheer number of human remains that can be found there. Peanut butter and chocolate bars contain roaches. 2. Even trusted apps like bank apps, social media, and food apps will ping your location and stow that in their company databases so they can analyze your behavior. 3. Your employer has the ability to turn on your webcam on company devices without you knowing. 4. Big cities statistically simulate traffic on their roads, and they adjust how long lights are green or red at certain times of day to help the majority of people get where they need to go, i.e. suburbs to city then city to suburbs. 1. There's a phenomenon known as coffin birth, which can occur when a deceased pregnant woman expels the fetus. It's caused by the buildup of gases inside the body. 2. The Dyatlov Pass incident. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers in the Ural Mountains of Russia tore open their tent from the inside and fled into a snowstorm. Most were found dead of hypothermia, some with unexplainable injuries, and one was missing her tongue and eyes. The exact cause of their deaths is still unknown. 3. Scaphism, also known as the boats, was an ancient Persian method of execution. The condemned person was trapped between 2 boats, or hollowed out tree trunks, fed and covered with milk and honey to attract insects. They'd then be left to float on a stagnant pond. Death, when it eventually occurred, was due to a combination of dehydration, starvation, and septic shock. 4. The Dancing Plague of 1518 was a case of dancing mania that occurred in Strasbourg, Alsace, where people danced to their deaths over a period of about 1 month. The exact cause remains unknown. 5. Aokigahara, also known as the Sea of Trees, is a forest at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan that's infamous for the high number of suicides that occur there. The area is reportedly so dense and quiet that it's easy to get lost, and compasses can malfunction due to the volcanic soil's high iron content. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one.